We've been following ImpactX for quite some time now. It's a platform that is making waves and driving intelligent, thoughtful, and interesting conversations around the themes of leadership and in other areas that are exciting the world today. Today we have with us the dynamic duo, the wonderful, beautiful ladies who are behind the ImpactX and the creation. And we'd love to hear more from them today.
Thank you, Aalok, for having us on our own platform.
Thank you.
You're welcome, guys. Sam, Shruti, when we look at leadership and how it is being portrayed today, what do you think is really missing, or what do you think is can be different from the way it's being portrayed and presented on platforms and in online presence today?
I think in boardrooms and leadership forums and LinkedIn posts, we see that leadership is, it comes across as very polished, rehearsed and practiced. However, behind every decision, behind every title and behind every business outcome, there's a story that's unheard. The risks, the failures, the doubts, they never reach the annual report. So ImpactX is our effort and a platform where we want to bring out these honest stories out in the public.
So who is ImpactX as a platform really for? What kind of conversations did you see or envision happening that weren't happening today perhaps, or you thought should be done differently?
Yeah, so ImpactX is a platform created for the CXOs, founders and key decision makers who believe that the impact doesn't come only from the surface level success stories, but through thinking, the turning point and also the uncomfortable truths behind that.
So Shruti, Sam, you guys have very different backgrounds, storytelling, research, marketing. So how does that impact ImpactX? How does that shape the different conversations that you guys are creating with this platform?
We came together as co-founders. So I come from the branding, marketing and storytelling background where narratives, perceptions and human emotions actually influence.
And I come from a research background, so where data, patterns and analysis separate the noise from the insights. So that's how it is. Yeah, I think we sit at an intersection, right?
Correct. Because a lot of times, you have to bring out the human element. At the same time, you have to follow the logic also. So any story we feel is a combination of all these two elements. So that's how we are tying it up with our experiences to bring out the best.
Yeah, where leadership, meets experience. That's how it is.
So there's a lot of platforms today that talk about leadership, whether it's podcasts or other formats. How do you look at these various podcasts and channels? Do they frustrate you sometimes with the way it's being presented? Did that perhaps drive how you guys wanted to make an impact with ImpactX? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. I'll take that one. I feel you're right in a way. There are so many channels and ways to bring out the stories. But I think what we realized in today's podcast ecosystem was there are too many stories there which are inspirational, but then they really lack the depth. We hear so many conversations, but not every conversation is a real conversation. And then we see, I think almost every day that one or the other leader is being interviewed. So what we felt was that, these leaders are rarely challenged. So we hear the good side of the stories, but then what are the most brutal conversations that are there? Because each story is also made up of a lot of failures and, people are being challenged at every stage. So why not bring those stories where people can get the real motivation? So that's our effort.
So Shruti, with ImpactX, what kind of leadership stories did you want to make space for or give a voice to? Was there some specific thought behind that, or what kind of leadership angles did you want to pursue and explore? Tell us about that, please.
Yeah, so we built ImpactX to know the stories or to understand the reality behind the leadership. So stories where to know more about leaders, what not just worked for them, but what almost broke them. So the real side of the stories we want to listen. So where impact is just not measured in revenue, but through thinking, consequences, and as well as culture.
So Sam, compared to these other podcasts and channels that we have out there, what can listeners or viewers expect from a typical episode of ImpactX? What's different? What can they look for?
Okay. So at ImpactX, we really try to blend storytelling with substance, emotions with a lot of validations, and experience with analysis, with Shruti and her background big into picture. So we actually go beyond the titles, beyond the press releases, and bring out the most vulnerable stories. We a lot of times ask really unsettling questions, and we feel that we put the spotlight really on the guest. So I don't want to scare my next guests in a way, but then this is what is expected, so that people get the real stories, real insights, and find the real motivation. That's the difference we're trying to create.
Shruti, leadership channels and all the content about leadership, they talk about these great wins and amazing performances that they've had. Why is it different? Why is it different from ImpactX's point of view? Why is it important to talk about the sort of human side of leadership? The messier aspects of leadership. What happens behind the scenes? What goes wrong? What works? Why is that important? Tell us about that.
Yeah. So I think like Samruddhi just mentioned, okay, we don't want to unsettle our guests, but see, honestly, we do know that leadership stories are not tidy. They are complex. They are human, obviously, and they have to be told out that way. And I think through ImpactX, we want to have the real leaders talk about the truths, and I think the real impact starts that way.
Sam, tell us about what kind of people should be, reaching out to ImpactX, reaching out to you guys. What kind of stories will you be amplifying through this channel or helping them, connect and reach their audiences? Tell us about that.
Okay. To be honest, we're really choosy about our stories. But then if you feel that any story that deserves the depth that headlines do not allow, it might be your story or somebody that you admire, then ImpactX is the right platform. We will make sure to bring out those stories in the most honest context that they have.
So Shruti, what's happening next? Tell us about what's next in store. What's the next episode going to be about? What can readers, viewers, listeners get excited about?
We're already working on a 𝗵𝗵𝗁 series along with a special edition spotlighting women and their leadership stories. So stay tuned to know more about ImpactX.
Thank you, Shruti. Thank you, Sam. That was great. Really enjoyed talking to you today. We look forward to what's next, and we're excited to see what ImpactX can bring to us and what kind of impact it can bring in our lives. So once again, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for doing this, and we are excited to see what the future holds in store for ImpactX.
Thank you so much, Aalok.
Thank you.